Hello everybody, welcome to your daily pop of positivity. We're using the beautiful unshakable inner peace oracle cards. I read so many beautiful things yesterday, all these quotes about how, nothing affects us unless we let it. Once we start focusing on it, it could be anything, a negative comment, something that's not completed. It becomes one of those constant knocks at our door, right? But when we just decide, I'm going to let it go, I'm going to be at peace, I'm going to relax a little, I don't have to chase things down and always be working, doing, and producing. I can just relax. Now, this talks about having worked really, really hard to get where you are right now, and I'm sure so many people have, and the pressure has been released, so you're free of the burdens that weighed you down. It might not feel like you're fully, completely out of this, but this shows that you're really, really further along than you realize. You've done it, you've done the work, you faced it, whatever it is. I know as a human, every once in a while I get those late night thoughts about mortality within my family, and oh my gosh, like, how would I cover this and the cost of this if I were all alone and all of these things. And then I realize, you're creating this like false negative reality in your head, and you're investing your feelings and emotions in it, which will create a mood, right? And then it'll make you sad or fearful or whatever it is. And then I just flip the switch and I say, why don't I change that reality to where we're all vacationing in like Maui and having a good time? Because your body, regardless if that event is really taking place or not, the thoughts you're thinking create an emotion, create a whole feeling of something. So whether you're really experiencing or not, you're still experiencing it through your thought process. So this is a beautiful time. You've arrived at a new level of peace where things that used to affect you are no longer going to affect you or hold you back. You can step forward with hope and enthusiasm and happiness and dedicate your new kind of focus on your well-being. Just place your hand on your heart and say, I am grateful for my strength and honor my well-being. I am proud of how far I've come and I appreciate all my experiences. All of that, recognizing that we hit these peaks, we hit these valleys, we hit these resting places. Let yourself be at peace, and now you can prioritize a love and self-care right here in the center. When do you feel most nurtured and cared for? Mine, I know it's when I kind of just do my daily things. I like good oral hygiene, brushing my teeth, taking care of that, looking after my skin, eating well. Yesterday, I had this great, and I wouldn't have thought it was so great, and it was rather expensive, this gourmet soup, and I was like, wow, it has all the stuff I like. Wonderful soup, and it had like kale and quinoa and turkey sausage, and it looked like wedding soup, and I was like, oh, it's going to be freezing tomorrow. It really is. It's like 20 degrees here. It's so cold. And I tried it, and with the right broth and mixture, it was heavenly. It was like high restaurant grade delicious. And I thought to myself, if these wonderful things exist and they're nutritious and wonderful, how about you opt for them? Like, they're way better than canned ravioli, so why in the world would you ever eat that? And it's the, that kind of thing. And right now this is saying, you might not feel all the time like you have much control and your world is doing whatever it wants, it's out of order. But this is a gentle reminder that you have much more control than you think. You have the power to be present in this moment and focus on how you want to feel right now, okay? Stay grounded, prioritize self-love and care practice. Really get back to the basics. Have you had a nice, warm, steamy shower, done a little skincare routine, brushed your teeth, painted your nails? Because self-love isn't about being selfish, it's about self-fulfillment. We all deserve our own love and attention. You may be showing up for everybody else and take care of others, and that can be at the expense of yourself. So new moms that take care of special needs children, fathers that also work full-time, all of this. Just really take a look how you can nurture yourself. When you take care of yourself first, everything else absolutely can flourish. And, sometimes I need to remind myself, and we've seen those moms, right? You see them at the grocery store, you see them at places, and I used to see them at the bus stop, and sometimes I would be that one at the bus stop, where your hair looks like you just went through a weed whacker. You have on like your husband's coat, and you look like, you belong to hunting, fishing, and game, and you're wearing like any levels of clothes to stay warm. You just woke up, you're rushing out the door, and it's just one of those things. We are busy and we do look after others, but we really need to maintain our divine assignment is to also look after ourselves. Now, I love this. Your tribe, your true tribe can't show up until you do. This is talking about how can you show more of the real you, be authentic. And we all know when we meet that person we just click with, we get it. They are their original authentic self. There's such a genuineness to them that you just get it. Usually it's like, I can pull out the funny in people because I'm good in social situations where I observe and have a little comedic relief, because I know when people are nervous or uncomfortable. I don't really get nervous or have anxiety in groups or parties. It's like I observe, and then I kind of like get the temperature of the room and go in. And I can tell who is going to who I'm going to gel with, by their posture right away and their energy. I'm a pretty good energy reader. When people are open and their arms are just by their side and they're not defensive, it's also a look on people's face, right? Like you get some of those people and they just, I don't know, I can't quite explain it. There's people with big, open, honest eyes and faces, and then there's the opposite. So right now, if you're craving a deeper connection, so many of us live for others and make choices based on what they want from us. And we put them first because we want to be liked and appreciated. But when we do this, we're hiding our true selves. When you hide your light, you can feel depleted, let down, and tired, right? So are you hiding pieces of yourself? Many of us think it is easier to go with the flow of the crowd, but doing so, we sacrifice our true selves. We fear speaking up and not being liked. We believe it's a risk to show our real selves and not be accepted. But the opposite, the total opposite is true. Your true tribe can't find you until you start showing up, saying things that are really important to you, meaningful. So use this opportunity to start being more honest and real with yourself. That's not saying you have to, somebody says one thing, you have to be combative or argumentative, but it's like truly speak up for what you feel is important, what you really like, because also you'll end up doing things you don't necessarily want to do or aren't fun for you because you're just going along to get along. There are people out there waiting for real, deep, meaningful connections. They can't find you until you show up as your authentic self. I think that was one of the things that identified Eleni as like a soul sister immediately for me. Within our first paragraph of conversation and meeting of each other, it was all of a sudden on beauty and art and how wonderful the beach was. And then we just started talking about art, and then I knew right away she was an artist, and then she invited me to come see her art, things like that. Had we just been like, oh, this weather, and you keep everything on the surface, you have to dig deeper to make these connections, because the most amazing things happen when you start to show the real you. Your emotional, spiritual needs are met. You also get an honest reflection back. So that's your daily pop, you guys. Love and light.